And so the key thing of us pursuing any journey, the start is a desire. Even if you get up and you walk, it could be to drink water or it could be to switch on the fan. So it is a karma which pushes into karma. That karma means desire. Many meanings. The first level meaning is karma means desire. And desire is nothing but a thought. Correct? So when you see Patanjali, when he defines yoga as chitta vritti nirodha, this chitta is the minefield of thoughts, that means desires. It has desires which we are not aware also. It has some desires which we need to give attention. There are some desires which we need to know whether it is tomato or coconut tree kind of a desire. All that is needed. So the simple way to understand is, moment there is an action, that action is happening because of a thought, and that thought most probably could be a desire to act. So this, let us be very clear. So the great ones, for example, we keep revisiting Ramana, because why they go to the mode of silence. So when we say Lord Dakshinamurti, the one who is facing south, south is also considered as direction of death. So we can understand it is death of ignorance. But how he is communicating through silence, and who is learning under the feet four very aged saints who are supposed to be mind-born sons of Brahma. Brahma creator, in mind thoughts are created. Correct? So you can sit quiet and understand various levels in which the imagery is available in our tradition can be interpreted. So, in the mere presence of great ones, the first thing which happens, it appears, we have a peace of mind. The peace of mind is basically because the thoughts are absolutely not there. Correct? You understood? It is not that because of peaceful thoughts we get peace. If you say I am getting peaceful thoughts, you can get not so peaceful thoughts also. Generally, the peace somebody experiences in presence of saints or at very sacred places like the temples or samadhi shrines or mosque or church, it's because of the presence there. That presence is so overpowering that silence becomes normal. At that time, there is a sense of lightness and peace which is there. Okay, so this is the way we have to try and understand what's happening inside us. But when you come and understand about the day-to-day life, every step is happening due to a desire. For example, there was a particular kind of question raised by Narayan 3 days back, which suddenly kicked in my mind as a thought, and request if he is available, why can't he be part of the session? That was a desire, which is nothing but a thought plus some actionable. So when I called him, he said, "Yeah, today he is available." So he logged in. That happened because a thought which was already there, in which a question asked by him and the response given in the previous session was there. So if he was there, he could also get one more way how we are handling thoughts, how we can handle desires. Correct? No? So this way also we can understand desire. So this desire it came in the one who is talking to you now. So that thought became a desire to invite him. That is how we are understanding the basic of how things happen. So where it is all happened, it started in the chitta. Chitta is the repository of the past or the knowledge. So the question asked by Narayan was in my chitta. And when this topic was almost similar to what we are discussing, another thought came, why not we invite? So I'm just trying to tell very slowly because we understand how this thought, desire are very, very closely intertwined. So similarly, we are walking with tons and tons of desires which are waiting to be uncovered also. So when they will be uncovered, when you consciously adopt a silence mode or a witness mode, you just sit quiet, you see things coming up. That is why when people sit quiet and close their eyes to do meditation, everything else happens other than meditation in the initial stage. Okay. So always the simple example I request people to visualize is standing at a seashore. You will see a lot of waves coming and hitting us. But once you travel, wade through the waves and go in, there is no difference between the sea and the pond, a still lake. Correct? So just recall the scene from Castaway movie where Tom Hanks is left on an island. When the camera zooms in and zooms out, slowly you are given an aerial view of the island. Close to the island, you see a lot of waves hitting the shores and making noise. And as you see the expanse of the sea, well into the sea and the still lake, there is no difference. It's completely calm. Another example which you can tell yourself is when you start to drive to Chennai from Bangalore or from a city to the city, the time you take to cross the city is actually more, you drive in the highway less. So the time taken is what we are trying to invest in meditation, yoga nidra, or any inward process. Because in time there is a silence waiting for us. Because we want to be hurriedly getting into the silence, that adds to one more stress there. So if we what we do when we are driving out of Bangalore, mentally we know till we get to the toll gate at Electronic City or some place, there is going to be traffic. It's part of life, and then we reach that place, and then it's going to be just toll gate and keep moving, right? The similar attitude we have to get into when we practice yoga nidra, meditation, or any inner process. The initial time you allow things because that is the nature of the mind to put you to a lot of processes, thoughts, ideas. Can we do this? Can I do this? So many ideas will well up. So many desires will come up. So when you stay put there, what happens? After some time, they go on and then they switch off. They allow you to get into the cruise mode. So you start to drive on the fifth gear or the top gear after you cross the city limits. Same cruise mode you will get into the mind when you are ready to wait for that time. So Swami Shivananda, Satyananda, all of them have been saying, give yourself a 20-minute practice, 20-minute practice for anything. When you do Yoga Nidra also, we have observed a level 3 Yoga Nidra beautifully can be done in 20 minutes. A good meditative session of a 5-letter mantra with sound awareness, body awareness, breath awareness, meditation on the mantra, and then concluding in a particular way, which we have been talking at Srimad, we can do 10 rounds of a 5-letter mantra plus doing all this withdrawal process in a 20-minute module. So this is what I am trying to tell today is anything takes time, everything takes time. We have to invest that time even to understand the desires. So when the desire is coming into the mind, instead of judging or condemning ourselves or condoning us or feeling guilty, feeling great, we just allow it to happen. Else we will never know why the desire is coming to us. We should not be afraid of ourselves, correct? Or we should, it's not afraid. We don't want to know certain things about ourselves. But deep within we know about ourselves. Like that paradoxically we live. Correct? We think, how can I think so bad? How can so much lust come to me? How much jealousy I am overwhelmed with? It's quite natural. If there is a mind is going to operate. If it's operating, there is going to be pattern, and you cannot design which pattern the mind is going to operate because the seeds the mind which is having is from the past, not from now, which is germinating. So you have to be patient enough to take your mind through that. So all these days, what we did was, without judging, we allowed this mind to throw at us a lot of desires, which are there. no judgments, no suppressions. Because suppression will ultimately lead to depression. So you have to allow the desires to come up, then put them through the filters of dharma, put them through the filters of sakama, nishkama, nishiddha, put them through the filters of yama niyama, and ultimately common sense. What is why we say common sense? There are times which we are unable to relate to or understand exactly what is dharma, or what are the three types of karma, or what is yama niyama, how I will filter it. Because in yama niyama we saw that it's not a surface level filter. We need to do a thought, word, and deed level working. Correct? Suppose I say it's all overwhelming, too much knowledge. So at least keep common sense as the filter. So the first common sense is listening skills, which we are taught at least at corporates. Nobody is teaching this in schools. At least people are listening. So why not we first listen to our desires? The skills which we are taught to listen to others, why not we put ourselves in a place and the desires which are coming up as our mind and listen to them, meaning let that happen. That is the stage which we have done now. Complete listing down of the desires by listening to the mind. With the deep knowledge of the example of the castaway example of you moving away from the shore, there is going to be silence. You are driving out of the town, there is going to be a smooth drive. But for that to happen, you have to hold on with patience the traffic or the waves near the shore. So these waves and the traffic are nothing but the desires which are coming to you when you are starting the journey of self-discovery. They are going to be in large numbers. There is going to be a traffic jam. Like how it is happening in the city, it's going to happen in our mind also. Lot of honking, lot of people shouting. This all are going to come into you. Why? A particular desire is coming up. One aspect of the mind will tell, how in the world I think like this. Other aspect will say, why not I think? I have been told I can think. It's the traffic jam, that road rage, all that is going to happen in you. So what you have to do is just witness and receive everything. Like how you listen out to your team, listen out to the kids, listen out to the spouse, listen out to the friend. You have to listen out being your own friend, the entire desire list. Correct? Then you put it through the sieve of three types of karma, understanding of dharma, all that stuff you are putting it. Correct? Then you arrive at a list of desires which you feel are going to define your life. See, all of us have an aspiration, and all of us know we have not reached that. That is why it is an aspiration. So, what is an aspiration? Is something, a stage in future. So the gap is being filled by fulfilling some desires. Suppose you aspire to own a property, you fulfill the aspiration by owning a property. You want a promotion, you fulfill the job, whatever is entitled, and move from one band to the another band if you're working in the corporate. Correct? So if you want to do something, that means it is yet not done. It is there. At some time it's going to happen. You are in some time called X, that is in the time called Y. That's why it is an aspiration, it is not reality. So these desires are the ones which are going to take you to that reality, which is an aspiration today. Is it clear? Any observations? So what we are doing is, like how you use Google Maps, though the destination you know, it shows you at sometimes take this route, the regular route it may not allow you to go. It will say there is a traffic jam, road block, some X, Y, Z is happening. It will divert you and tell you the quickest way you reach the route, right? So that is also extremely important to understand. So once you fix the destination, you will notice the right route will emerge on its own. That is why fixing the desires are extremely important. And we all of us have the common sense of aligning those desires to dharma. Okay, so why I'm saying all these things? Technically speaking, if we have done this, you will not need Yoga Nidra. That's the truth. But we are not at there. So we need a process which will first calm us down. Once you calm down, you understand your stress points. Then once you address those stress points, some are due to just getting up in the morning, some are fulfilling some desires, some of it you have to write a mail. So the stress points, once you address, then your desires become easily qualified to be manifested. So this is the simple route map which Yoga Nidra gives. First, it scientifically helps you to relax by tapping the little man in the brain. So that scientifically also, if someone wants to verify from the brain level waves, the relaxation can be observed and recorded that honestly, yes, Yoga Nidra gives relaxation. Then we move into the breath. The breath awareness, yeah.
Krishna,
Mhm.
in the way you have explained, just to internalize, aspiration is the present, fulfillment is the future.
Aspiration is the
Is
future.
that
Aspiration is
the
something you aspire to be, something is in the future.
higher?
Your
Okay.
desire
So,
is
but
in the
I
present.
have this aspiration is today. I have an aspiration today for something in the future which gets fulfilled. Is that right?
We are just playing with words, that's it.
I'm losing you.
We are just playing with words,
Correct.
that's it. I aspire to be a pilot. That is, that is your aspiration today, but the aspiration to be a pilot has not fulfilled, no.
Fulfilled.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Correct. So
the fulfilled
keeping
aspiration is in
the
the future. We can say like that. The
correct.
fulfilled aspiration is in the future. In the present, maybe the aspiration in the form of a thought is existing.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because uh, it is a journey. The analogy of a journey, which where you brought in Google Map also. But why I'm trying to, there is a vehicle which is taking, and there is a route. I wanted to say, if Google Map is showing a route, what is the route in this sense, and what is the vehicle which takes us from aspiration to fulfillment?
Your body is the vehicle.
Okay.
The route is Yoga Nidra. So you reach there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if you notice, why I'm trying to give an elaborate outline is, from tomorrow you both are being fast tracked to level 4 Yoga Nidra. So morning 6 it's happening. So at that time, it is easy for you because of the quality and the depth of interactions we have had the last week. I felt that on some small things like this, if we address how to form a desire, you can easily start practicing it. So this is what the adaptability in the tradition. For example, when you give Yoga Nidra also, like the Google Map, if you are the teacher or the instructor, you will every day not give the same instruction. Because the same instruction will also make people think this is what's going to happen. They go into an auto mode than being in the mode of awareness. So like Google Maps, we also will be adopting and adapting to some changes in the instructions, the count, breath count change, some difference in the visuals, so that to keep the mind alert and aware. Because intellectually we are convinced that we need complete awareness and alertness and awakeful state in the entire journey of Yoga Nidra. That is, intellectually we are all understanding it, but in the so-called practice sense, we are yet not there. Because Swami Shivananda's calculation, 10 seconds if we are able to withdraw and hold the mind is called pratyahara, right? It means one of my teachers who came here from a college, Professor S.K. Palhan, he cited a scientific study and mentioned 3 seconds is our ability to hold awareness. That means if a Yoga Nidra session is going to be a 30-minute session, how many 3-second pockets are there? So our ability to stay aware is enhanced by when we understand how this process works. Like when you trust the process of Google Maps, you know that they know the road inside out better. And jokes apart, sometimes yes, Google does mislead. That is different. This is just an example, an analogy need not be
Correct.
also said. But the idea is how Google takes you as a process delivering person, you also guide like a navigate. That's the only thing. So now what happens, once you put the desire list through this kind of a sieve, the filter, you will get some 4 5 major desires or prioritizations. Because we also studied the importance of having Artha Kama measured and calibrated based on Dharma. We have never touched upon the concept of moksha because it will remain a concept only. We are still working with our Artha Kama based on Dharma. That itself is a huge leap. Earlier, it was a complete consumerist attitude of Artha Kama, my life, my earning, I will do what I want. Because of Corona, there is a sense of Dharma because of fear instilled by death in our mind. So people are measuring their Artha Kama based on Dharma. Correct? So we are in that level only. So when we do that, what happens? Naturally, the priorities have changed pre-COVID to post-COVID. Many things have been in place. Now we are all grounded reasonably. Correct? So the idea of the desire list also must be much refined than if we had done this program in January 2020. At that time, maybe all the three of you may not be also part of this program. All of us were pursuing our own things. Srimat was thinking only offline programs we will do. We were not even knowing that we have a huge number of people waiting to learn online. So it is not only that the holy cow stuff we are trying to play. Everybody's things have changed because of a pandemic. Correct? So the priorities are much easier in life now because we are closer to reality and ground than much before. We were flying too high, we are grounded. That's how nature does her work. She keeps gently reminding us, boss, ground is there to walk, or don't keep flying. So the priorities are there for us now. So once the priorities are there, based on our dharma, we also understood the role playing is an important aspect of dharma. So depending on people who are dependent on us, also we are able to find the priority of our desires. It's no longer about our career, it's about that our is encompassing. Correct? So this way we have arrived at a desire list. So second, some features I wish to tell. You need to take one desire at a time and translate it into the resolve. This is the first key input. This concept of multitasking doesn't work in the real world. At same time, it appears many things are happening, but even in the screen of 4, at a time only one person can talk for clarity. I have opened 5 windows in the screen, but at a time my attention can be given only to one. So the processing speed is nothing. The processors, how quick in nanosecond, picosecond, they can do the process shift between that. No, that's how what is happening in IT, right? So at a time, we should address only one. That is very clear. Second aspect or attribute of the resolve is that resolve should be yours. That means you cannot take a resolve that I wish my child studies engineering. I wish my neighbor is keeping quiet. Those things are not part of the journey because it is your inner journey. You alone have to be part of that resolve. So even if something is concerning others, you have to start that correction within ourselves. So the second idea of the resolve is that resolve should be for us. However close we may be to our spouse, children, friends or parents, we should not take a resolve on their behalf. If you wish to do that, please go to a temple and pray or sit at home and pray. This is a very specific process. It is for personal inner peace. Many times that which we see as an obstacle or an impediment for which we are praying to get it right are actually the boons which are there to remind us to be in the inner journey or remind us to implement the learnings we get. Otherwise, we will just deliver lectures. Yeah, unless there is an impediment, unless there is a case to solve. For example, unless there is an intruder, why will army need a gun? Unless there is something to tackle, you don't need the tools, right? So the tool is given to you because for you to face the obstacle, and obstacles cannot be said no. I'm not saying obstacle is good or bad. Obstacle is part of life. So if there is a relationship which you think is pushing you hard and putting you out of wits many times, maybe that's what we need. Some lesson we are not deriving. So we have to go back. That is how our teacher has mentioned. Whatever experience we need will be only be given by the divine. It's like you are appearing for an IAS exam, you will have the tough question paper, not the cab driver who drops you for the exam. The test is written by you. Like you have chosen to practice Yoga Nidra. You have chosen to do meditation, not your spouse, your friend, or the security in your apartment complex. So you may feel they are living a very normal life, only you are struggling. Obviously, because you took the decision to pursue something, they have not taken a decision to pursue. Please remember that. So coming back is you need to be clear that this resolve is very much for you. Okay. The third thing is when you are framing the resolve for coming true in Yoga Nidra, you need to be trying to use certain vocabulary, certain words. Okay, so now let's get into the practice side. So what we do generally during New Year, many people in birthday and New Year, what they do?
Resolution.
Resolution. So can you name some of the New Year resolutions?
Exercising on a daily basis.
Okay.
Maybe quit some bad habits.
1 second. Daily basis. Quit bad. Can you be specific? Quit one thing at a time. What's the first bad habit people want to quit? Example.
Give up on anger.
Be careful with you. Next.
Maybe if they have.
Huh? Yeah, one of you.
Srini sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. Getting up late, it's a bad habit. I want to quit that. I want to get up early, for example.
Okay. Mahalakshmi, you mentioned something.
No, I in general say if somebody wants to quit smoking or somebody wants to quit the habit of nail biting, anything it can be. So quitting some bad habit. Or so much addicted with phone or WhatsApp or Instagram, whatever. So if they want to place a discipline on it, then that also a resolution.
Okay. Then. Okay. So should we, these are the standard stuff, right? And I'm sure, and I have as informed earlier, please don't reveal your desires to anybody. That's the important point you can add is your desires are your desires. However close people they appear to be close, please take it with a pinch of salt. It's not to demean anybody. Correct? It is the way it is.
Yep.
Okay, so let us be very clear. We have to become emotionally stable and emotionally self-sufficient. For that to happen, at least certain things we should learn how to keep up within, keep it within. The primary thing is your desire list, which is yours. Okay. Then, when you notice some of the actions you take in life, that will give you the way in which we have to frame the resolve. Okay. Suppose someone says, I am jobless. What they should do?
Should find a job. I mean, at least search for the job.
Yeah. So, okay. So you feel thirsty. What you should do?
Drink
Drink
water.
water.
Yeah. You feel hungry, what you will do?
Eat
Eat
food.
food.
Eat food.
Maybe prepare to cook the food.
Good. So what you have done is seeking a job, drinking water, preparing or eating food. These are all actions. You didn't keep saying to yourself, I am thirsty, I am jobless, I am hungry. That is the state.
Hmm.
That is the reality, the state. So what you did, instead of saying I am thirsty, the same thing you can tell if you are at home, you can tell the child, can you get me a cup of water?
Hmm.
Or if you want to prepare something, yeah, let me go and prepare something. So what is happening is you are not allowing the mind to be again getting into the groove of I don't have, it is not there like that. You are saying, I wish to have a cup of water or I need a cup of water, and you know what action you are taking. Correct?
Hmm.
Similar approach you have to work with your desire. A desire is something which is unfulfilled. That is why it is in the mind. So what you have to think is by fulfilling that desire, one method of looking at it is by fulfilling that desire which is a resolve, what is the end which I am having? So when we see the desire list given here in the chat box, we have I quit smoking or give up on anger. So we know scientifically that smoking hurts our lungs. Then it also passive smokers are affected more than the active smoker. Second, we know that if you need to, if you don't work with your anger, it may damage your liver. So you don't need to be a drunkard for the liver to be damaged. Just see the simple things. You don't need to be a drunkard, but the way you behave with anger is damaging your liver much more than a drunkard damages his or her liver. This is the truth. Likewise, a physical level habit will damage your inner organ, or the mental level also will damage. Suppose physically you have a sedentary lifestyle, it impedes the functioning of pancreas and it creates diabetes. If you are stressed out in the mental domain, then also pancreas will be affected and you will get a type 2 diabetes. So for every disease, let us not think there is only one cause. So the smoke lungs is like that. If you have again a sedentary lifestyle, it appears the breathing capacity goes down and we will experience breathlessness. And now they have even said scientifically we need a 45-minute of active physical routine every day. Just yesterday, as part of a symposium organized by Annamalai University, some 500 people were there in the group. So the professor beautifully said that how brain takes up through everything very seriously. It's like a thing which is monitoring everything, right? From the quality of food, quality of sleep, quality of exercise, quality of interactions you have. Second is a 45-minute module of physical activity is extremely important to keep the organs functioning in a optimal way. Obviously, brain is also very important, correct? That's the thing which decides. So, smoking also will affect the brain. Drinking also will affect the brain. So, the primary resolves which people take during New Year or their birthday or anniversary or things is quit smoking, let me do weight management, let me quit drinking, let me quit procrastination, things like that. So we have to be mindful that we do not use such words when framing a resolve. So instead of telling, I will quit smoking from this year, we could say, I wish to have healthy lungs. Or I wish to be healthy. If you want to be very specific, you say, I wish to have healthy lungs. So whatever is needed to keep the lungs healthy will be part of the thought process. So this way we have to do. Like you said, when you are hungry, you will prepare food. So while you go walking towards the kitchen to prepare food, the mind will work out what can be done, what cannot be done, because it knows what is in the kitchen, right? Similar way, the mind, brain, I am using synonymously here, that ability of us to think will naturally align in the neuronic level to ensure that that particular thing will happen. Correct, no? So when you are redesigning this desire into a resolve, we should reframe it as, I wish to have the right weight for my body type. Because if you are a kappa body type, you will never have a size 0 waist. But when you look at the ads, you see every woman walking with a size 0. They make you feel that that is the only way to be healthy. But that is not the way to be healthy. Because in Ayurveda, your BMI is depending on your body type. It's not only if you're 160, it is not 160 minus 160 should be your optimum weight. That is the straightforward basic calculation. So if you're really hell-bent on improving your weight management, you approach a holistic practitioner like an Ayurveda, Siddha, naturopath, or a consultant who is approaching life in totality. Sit with them and understand for your body constitution what is the weight. Let us not be also very particular saying that I wish to be 68 kilos. That is to tell tomorrow the dollar rate, let it be 68. It keeps fluctuating, but it should be in a manageable level. That is what we have to see. So our entire thought process changes in Yoga Nidra Resolve. So let me have an optimum weight for my body type, things like that. Let me understand situations better. So for anger, that could be also one of the results. But I leave that to you because you have enough knowledge to reframe the results, because you know why you feel anger is letting you down in your life. That memory from the Chitta will tell you what you could have done different. So what you will be saying, I wish to be a better listener, could be your solution for managing anger. For other person, I wish to be a bit patient, because they are putting a tomato seed and they are expecting it to be like something else, like a weed which comes on the second or third day. So anger comes to us in various ways, correct? So when you go back and sit with yourself, you will know what is pushing you into anger. You address the resolve to address that situation, correct? No?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you say I want to quit smoking, you will never quit smoking in your resolve. You have to say, what is that? That's what Srini's intervention is very important. The aspiration is to quit smoking, but you are yet not there. So that is, the reality is different. But what you can do, you can make a roadmap to fulfill that aspiration of quitting smoking. Correct, no? Like how we don't keep thinking of traffic jam when you reach the place. You don't use words like quit, smoke, because these are the thoughts which like japa will keep going on in your mind. You want to reprogram it. So when you reprogram, it means these words become irrelevant. So you say, I wish to have a healthy liver. Yeah.
So I was just trying to write what you said, so please tell me if I've got it right. Huh?
Yeah.
Make the resolve of what is the consequence of your desire when fulfilled. Make a resolve.
One method. Yeah. Right now we have dealt with that method.
That okay.
Okay. Now comes the artha related things, like, because having the health is also dharma, right? We studied about deha dharma. Anger management is mano dharma. I wish to know what is my passion. It becomes your swadharma. So whichever desire you think, no, you have covered the ground for that. Suppose you say, that day we were discussing about, I wish to have a home. Is a different desire than saying I wish to have a palatial home or I wish to have a 5-bedroom home. You may be having a lot of calculations in mind. In one room I'll have library, one I will have this. But what is the objective of having it? First is shelter and a roof above the head, and peace of mind, happiness, things like that. So those things need to be given more importance than too much getting into the quants. So that day, that's what Narayan and Leela were there in the session. It is like the South Indian matrimonial ad, some of our desire list. 6 feet, dark, tall and handsome guys. Then you know all of them are already married. Or you say wheat complexion 5'8". It's all racist thing what we do actually. We don't look at somebody with whom we can live in peace, who is understanding and who values life. You are only giving quants there because that is how our education system and our own parents and society have pushed us. So we should reprogram that. By getting a 25-year-old person working in Gulf, earning this, your life is not going to, may become hell. Because half the time they are fried in the heat there, you are alone at home. Or you may say software engineer, instead of 8-hour work, they are doing 24 hours work, and Saturday, Sunday also they are on work. So people have a green card holder, I will go there, live happily forever. Only we know what is that. And parents end up maids in their children's home. All these things, we make life very complex. So let us slightly move away from being too much quantitative, a left brain approach, which we are used to setting targets at office. For example, you are going to take possession of a property. There these quantitative goals up because there are reasonably visible variables. Like, you know, a cement takes 10 days to set. The steel bar takes this much time. And if this kind of a building will take this much time to come. These are all calculations possible in a project which is started with the end in mind and many people are involved. But here only you are involved and your karma balance is more important. So your Yoga Nidra resolve of having a healthy liver can actually manifest quick than your friend, provided you both had the same, because your karma balance also comes into the play. Correct? So in the individual approach, my request would be move away from this matrimonial ad type of resolves being too specific. Or if you have a dream, don't torture that dream to have a yellow color painted home with things from Jaipur. You know, these things are complicating. We are having a simple statement as a resolve, not a short story. Because we sometimes think we are outsmarting ourselves, our mind and people around, but the mind will always outsmart us. Because we are only working with the 10% of the conscious mind we know. 90% is subconscious. We discussed about that as well, right? So when you make Yoga Nidra resolve, the next key aspect is don't try to think smart. Be normal. Because you will be eventually outsmarted. Correct, no? There is a joke going on in Tamil joke going on in WhatsApp. Correct? WhatsApp joke is, it's an old joke only. Somebody called Kuppusamy was praying to God, telling that, God, I should never get death in my life. Okay? Tamil வந்து deathna savu. Save varakudadunu he will say. Then God comes before him and tells, your wish is granted. Because his name is Kuppusamy. Save varakudadunu he will tell God. After coming out of the tapas, somebody will meet him on the way and ask, what is your name? He will tell Kuppumi. Meaning, Tamil so it appears God is hiding behind the tree and telling, you are thinking you are pretty smart. What do you think of me? If you know Tamil, you can understand this. But I'm just telling you. Leela, this the basic idea is, in Tamil, Savu means death. Somebody's name was Kuppusamy. So it's a play with fun with words. So this gentleman wants death to not approach him. So he meditates on the divine.
Yeah.
And the divine says, okay, unaku saave varadu. That means the word sa. He asked for that. In his mind, savu means death. So he said sa. So divine said, okay, so be it. So he couldn't even pronounce the word sa. When somebody asks this name, he cannot say Kuppusamy. He can
Ah,
say Kuppumi, Kuppumi, because Save or Varad, like that.
yeah,
It's a fun in
yeah,
the
yeah,
language, a beautiful
yeah.
language in Tamil. So similar things are there in all languages. So the thing is, the idea is, let's not try to be smart. The more we are childlike, the more we are humble, more we are grounded to reality, the peace and success cannot elude us. That will only help us also to enjoy the reasonable success all of us have in life. Otherwise, it will too much calculating, too much intellectualizing, too much number games brought into it will not be helping us to be in peace. So the idea of Yoga Nidra is to reach a kind of state of calmness, peace, relaxation, stress relief. If you add too much numbers to it, it may eject you forever out of peace. So just whenever you are framing a resolve, remember our matrimonial acts which are given in for our sons, daughters, cousins, brothers, why even for us they might have given some time back. And all of us are married, have experienced what is marriage, we know what it is. Even to get married as per our specifications, what happened to us on a lighter wing. Okay, so let's be very practical. This is what I call practical. Be practical means what? Don't try to be too specific with life. Can you be too
One,
specific with your cooking? Today it may turn out very well also, no? Very good than your earlier chutney. Today so you focus on the process. That's it. Yeah, Mahalakshmi.
no, this is just the opposite of goal setting. Like normally, the practical way of goal setting, people normally say be specific or to your goal, and if you're
Measurable and all
just although the smart goal.
that.
But now you're going the other way. So I'm just wondering how this will, if you're not specific about it. Say, for example, as you said, losing weight. If you're not saying I would like to reach this weight, as you said, yeah, it depends upon the body weight. Your example was perfect for that. But what if I'm going to work on the numerics? This is my goal, and I need to achieve this number of blah blah blah, whatever it
That is
is.
in the corporate way you have to do. When there is a collective number of people available, you have to strike a balance. Even suppose hypothetically you are working in the sales department. Your sales manager also knows they have set the target above what is needed.
Yeah,
That you will
above the
reach where you
yes.
have to. But everybody knows that number is just a number. It is going to motivate. That's not the reality there. So that is there when lot of variables, including you, are there. Here in your life, that getting 100 crore turnover, can it ensure the company is also in profit? So I am
Yeah.
asking you to see that way. I'll put it in another way. Suppose you say every year I should get 20% increment. Maybe you will end up getting it using Yoga Nidra Resolve also. But don't you think it is important to save equal or have better savings than earning more? The same salary, if there is a method to save more, is that better or keep earning and keep paying more?
Agree.
Logically, right? So you have to see the truth is not in the majority. The truth is reverse because it is unpalatable. So we have to take a balance between the smart goals where they are required. You have to tell the child, boss, you have to get up at 6, that is a quant. You better get 90 marks and above, that is a quant. Where quants have to be used and where qualitative aspects need to be used, that is why I told the first filter itself is common sense. We ask, yes, by me getting a 3-bedroom home, will it ensure happiness? Answer that question first than a 3-bedroom home. If you approach that way, what happens? You will say, yeah, good, no. I need a home which will make me happy. We all lived happy in small homes. Today we have big homes, less number of people. Correct? So the happiness, togetherness, can it somehow be brought into a resolve? So why Bhutan is having a gross happiness index? All of us are only having gross domestic product and gross national product. Nobody is understanding how can a company give 10% increment year on year to employees? How can economy grow every year? How can every year people will buy cars, new company will open? This kind of thoughts people are not getting. and then we get to read that Warren Buffett is still using the same car. He uses the simple dress. For listening, we say, wow, wow, what a great thing. But when it comes to you, you want to use the next iPhone. You have not even exploited the present iPhone to its full potential. Correct? So always I would say, I'm not telling to go walk the beaten track, unbeaten, unexplored path, but also think twice before going into the beaten track. That is why it's called beaten track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just trying to cleanse. We when we ask for a desire or a desire, most of them are extremely quantitative. Most of them are very, very grounded, pragmatic, day-to-day desires only. I want X amount of money. I want, like you said, 3-bedroom house, preferably in that place facing south. I mean, we have got that kind of desires. If we first set that and keep asking why, will that help us lead to the last one, which actually should be a result? Like you said, why do I need a 3-bedroom house?
Yes.
So why, okay, so that all of us can stay. Why should all of us stay together?
No, I will ask, why also I can answer. How long you will stay together? That is my question. You are saying 1 bedroom for my child, 1 for my parent, 1 for me. Like Baba Black Sheep only we are still in the kid. 1 for my master, 1 for, that's how we are planning. But how long are people going to be there? You yourself came alone. So that togetherness, the value, the happiness, or you can say in the resolve, this is kindly get a home to my budget. That is a more practical goal. So
that's what I say. Why do I need a 3-bedroom house? Then that answer will say, no, I don't think I need. Then why do I? Okay, I need a place, a shelter where I can stay happily. So once we, so maybe that would be the final, could be the final resolve, which you should think. Yes. Automatically, all the other things may fall in place. I don't know, but
yeah, it will fall in place as you rightly observed. The thing is, we should not afraid to have desires. We should also not be afraid to question our desires. That is why there's a difference between brainstorming for desires and then putting it through the sieve of intellect and all these things. Many times we don't want anybody to question us also, right? That way it is not the way. Okay. But there is a role for smart goals in life at that ashrama we live. Like for a child, sometimes you have to do a lot of smart goals, kind of instilling, then the discipline, everything. Because I used to keep saying, people say I am flowing with life. That is sometimes laziness and lethargy. They use that with I am going with the flow of life. Who are they to know? How can they know what is the flow of life? Are they God? Are they so aware 24 hours they know the flow of life? If people knew the flow of life, they should have been prepared for this pandemic. None of us appear to be prepared for the pandemic. That means we were fooling ourselves by saying all these things. So in the Artha Kama domain, there is still option of working with your smart goals. You can say, I wish to have a home near to my office. That is still better than having, I wish to own a particular apartment, this, that is too taxing for you to find out. Correct? Like the too much narrowing down is very, very difficult. Google also will tell closest to 20 meters or 5 meters only when you put the map. Okay, so these practical examples, please remember. Now coming to the other aspect of goal making, kindly avoid using words like want, I must, I can, I will, I should. These kind of too much assertive things which are putting the onus on yourself. So try to include words like I need, I wish, or I pray, kind of stuff, because then you have literally worked with your desires. See, I need a home or I want a 5-bedroom home. There is a difference. There is less pressure on you, first of all. Second, it is more practical because, as Srini also observed, the objective of getting a home is what we have to focus, not the home itself. Correct? So that makes the desire more polished, qualitative, and you yourself will buy into that. Correct? So the first thing is only one resolve per one desire per resolve you have to have. Second is that resolve should be for yourself. Third is let it be a small sentence than a paragraph or a short story. No comma, semicolon. It's a definitive thing. Fourth thing, please remember that it has to be using the words, simple words like need, things like that, instead of want, because want by nature is negotiable, need by nature is non-negotiable. So in a subtle way you have said to yourself, I need a home. Okay, so like this, you can analyze your own stuff and come to a conclusion. So what you do is, based on this, you can please shortlist one of your desire, and we'll send you the invite to be there at tomorrow for the session. And Narayan, you have wish to add some insights? You and Leela can add some insights and experience from your journey in Yoga Nidra, and or whatever you want to share.
One thing is whatever Mahalakshmi had asked, right? I also used to go through the same thing, in the sense like, no, in the corporate world, you have been driven to go behind the SMART goals. But as you said, there is difference between quantitative and qualitative. And that is for a group, and this is for yourself. And finally, at the end of the day, what matters to you? And one final thing is, when Srini was talking about that objective, right? 2 days back, there was an article in, I think, An Academy, or there is, I think, they are also probably an education-based thing. And they have got hold of many people. And one IAS officer from the Northeast, he said, because he wanted to contribute to society, he said sometimes once you know what you want to do, right, that how part is sometimes easy, but you always have to ask yourself why you wanted to have that desire. He said it was very clear from his childhood why he wanted to become an IAS officer. So that made his things different, because I always used to think a what and how, that why part. But what Krishna was saying is there is something even beyond why.
Okay, you're defining the purpose of your desire. Then, if you're focusing on why, then you're defining the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leela, we are eager to hear from you.
Actually, I didn't know that the session will be starting at 9 o'clock. So I was a late comer. Around 10:15.
9:40 only we started. 9:45.
9:45. Okay. So yeah.
You were at 9.
Sir?
You were there for most of the things.
Acha. Okay. Fine. I felt a desire should be ended with the small steps anyway. So I am in the first step, I feel. So I have a hope that I might fulfill my complete desire, what I wanted.
Oh, super, extremely good. Very, very good. Yes, thanks. So Mahalakshmi, this is what we started when we did the introduction session on
Okay.
desire manifestation. If you notice,
Yes.
it is very easy to just give a session on Yoga Nidra, which eventually Srimat will do, a simple 5-day program on Yoga Nidra. But if you really want to know what it is, it's better to know, like Narayan said, why are you first doing it? And then the how will manage on its own. Correct? Like if you decide why I want to study in IIT, why I want to do this, then the how you will discover it yourself. You will reach your friends, you will reach Google, you will talk to people. But unless you fix the goal, unless you have the desires, you accept the desires, you will always appear confused to yourself and others. So use the SMART to filter your desires. But when you're framing the desires, be normal and reasonable with yourself. At any point, never try to outsmart nature, never try to outsmart your own mind. And the conclusion I would like to tell is, please treat the mind like your friend. Do not go by the examples what people give, treat it like monkey, donkey and all that. That is all good for laughing. I feel it is demeaning those animals. They have certain specialities which we can never replicate. They are there because of the purpose. We should only treat our mind like a friend if we really want a great inner journey. And all of you know Bhakti, submit that mind to that source which you trust, and rest is taken care. That is why in Yoga Nidra we say any resolve taken during Yoga Nidra is bound to come true, because that submission is there after understanding why I am doing Yoga Nidra, why this means to me. Correct? And depending on the desire, whether it's a tomato plant kind of a desire or a coconut tree kind of a desire, the duration, let's have patience. But definitely we are on the right track. Okay. So that's
So
what.
how many time how many times should we practice yoga nidra? The morning session will be over.
Yeah.
The next.
You can do one in a day is more than enough.
Okay.
More than enough. The
Okay.
thing is, sometimes we may have time at our disposal. No, at that time, let us practice awareness, mantra. It's a very important question, because at no point we should become desperate.
Yeah.
At no point, because desperation sometimes will make us lose hope also. But we should be happy that when you start practicing these processes, you will get lot of time for yourself. So at that time, you will feel, what can I do? Read some good books. Just try to stay quiet. Sit in your balcony. Enjoy the birds. Be with yourself a lot when you get time. Okay.
One more question. Like apart from this desire manifestation, what are the other benefits of, because whatever I went through so far with Yoga Nidra, we do travel throughout our body. That is, we focus our mind from the little finger to the little toe, right, from the head to toe. So what it does to us exactly?
That you will know when you do the session tomorrow, when we are going to give the level 4. The breath will help to manage the thought patterns in the mind. Then the visuals will give you the clarity which you have in mind. It's like in clear water only you can see an image. So the more clear the visuals are happening to you in the visualization phase, it means more relaxed and subtle the mind is becoming. Because everyone may be appearing to lie in Shavasana, but internally everybody need not be in the same state of steadiness. So when you keep practicing over a period of time, that state of steadiness will happen, because you will start trusting the process. That stability will be there. In that stable mind, the reflection will happen. And what happens for many people, they will start with the Yoga Nidra resolve.
We can't hear you, sir.
Yeah. After 3-4 days, 3-4 practice sessions, they may feel my Yoga Nidra resolve itself is different, because they might have understood the desire which is originally reason for this resolve. So all that can happen when body is relaxing, mind is relaxing through breath, which will be visible in your visuals, and then more clarity will emerge. So some of us will continue with the same resolve till it, at least for 21 days, we try to do the same resolve, or till it comes to fruition. As based on your individual, you can say, let me practice for a month and just leave for some time, and again practice. It all depends on the enormity of your resolve. If you're taking baby steps, small steps, the results will be pretty. Okay. Only one you need to get it done. Then your mind will know how to get it done. Yeah.
So one more question, sir. Whenever they say the little finger or the thumb or whatever it is, I always think of the like awareness in the way the bone, direct the bones, not the flesh and the hand or anything. I'm directly going to the bone and awareness in that area. So I'm not.
That is.
So is it correct? Is it correct or?
That's what. It is unverifiable even for you. But your little finger, it is unverifiable. It may be even your. It's better to be aware of things which you can verify, like your little finger. You know how exactly it is. The bone could be even your own creation also, meaning it
Ah,
be like this, unless extremely you can do that stuff. So the idea is coming back to the thumb, the portion which is said, than
hmm,
doing something else.
ah.
That is another way
I'm
of discipline also.
ah, I'm not getting awareness of the thumb, but the bone in the thumb.
It's okay. You start
Is it
there.
okay?
There is no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, no, because
For
I,
the right answer, I would say train your mind to be on the thumb only. What
okay.
uh, academically right answer. But we
Ah,
cannot tell why your mind is going from thumb to the
yeah, yeah.
correct. So
That
maybe
I,
you can try and tell your mind, let me just follow. Let me just follow the instruction. Instead of
okay.
doing it your way, you can tell your mind, let me just do, because when you do it your way, then again you are only doing it. That witness is gone. You allow
Ah,
the instructor to just take charge. Okay, let me try. So what you can do in the waking state, you can just be sitting and say, oh, this is my right thumb. Like that you can think.
yeah.
But the result in the brain is going to be the same.
Sir?
The brain neuronic thing is going to be the same because it is location specific than dimension specific.
Hmm.
Okay, but this I am telling you from another point of view of trying to make the mind just to follow instead of it
Okay.
is thinking a bone where the
Yeah.
word itself is not there in the instruction.
Hmm.
That angle I am trying to tell you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, in the IST. Okay.
So I will send you the invite. Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.